Yeet. This is Point Black. Coming in hard and off the card. Coming with the flow straight from the barrio. And coming with the heat from the damn street. This is PBNN Point Black. National News. With the flow from the barrio and the heat from the street. With the facts crack backs and the boom bip to the lion ass lips. This is PBNN Point Black National News, the late and the great edition and the ghetto edition as well. Because this is what we must do at all times. You know what I mean? Now, today we're going to recap some joints, and we're also going to look at some things that's not making much sense. You know what I'm saying? In many ways, we could see where, you know, the control over the different, the party by one party is definitely a headbanger. You know what I'm saying? In all ways, because we know that. This is how they play us. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that people is going to have to understand and going to have to come to grips with very fast. You know what I'm saying? The Democratic Party, in many ways, is overruling the other party in itself. You know what I'm saying? And the strength of the Republican Party seems to have a lot of what we call crooked, twisted, and sometimes even sabotages of the Republican Party. Even when we look at 13 Republicans, you know what I'm saying, that switch parties, you know what I mean, to vote in a Democratic primary, they switch parties to vote in a Democratic primary for Congress 16 New York, Bo versus Latimer. I think it's called Latimer in this matter. You know what I'm saying? And we see where now that, you know, the February 14th deadline registered voters in New York, you know, deadline for registered voters in New York, the state, you know, saying to change its political party. You know what I'm saying? So we see now that the February 14th deadline for registered voters in New York state to change political parties, you know what I'm saying, has passed. Sources tell Yonkers, YonkersTimes.com, you know what I'm saying, that more than 1,300 registered voters in the 16th congressional district in New York have switched parties to have become registered Democrats. You see? So we beginning to see the garbage in itself, because one thing Democrats known for doing is doing garbage, fucking up the world and the country as a whole, doing it and still doing it for years and years and years, and expect no one to say anything. Forget about it. We're the righteousness on planet Earth. Let's keep moving. And that goes for many Republicans that calling themselves Republicans as well. You are no more than a follow fashion monkey, donkey, jackass, and a sabotager of a great, you know what I'm saying, um, uh, uh, political party such as the Republicans in itself. You are a traitor. You know what I'm saying? And many people who grew up being Democrats don't even know why they are Democrats. The only things they see is the political scheme game that was played on their brains, maybe. But the switch comes after the effort by several, you know what I'm saying, independent organization was made to, in this matter, many in the primary was made to, in itself, you know what I'm saying, get voters in the 16th primary Republicans. Well, the voters in the New York 16 primarily Republicans to switch their party affiliation with the New York State Board of Elections and register as a Democrat. If you're a Republican, why would you do that? What would the switch really be for? The destruction of your world? Okay, but we see where you're going. Two Westchester Democrats are facing off in the Democratic primary on June 25th. Incumbent Congressman Jamal Bowman in being challenged by the Westchester County Executive George Lederman, I'm sorry. Supporters of Lederman were behind the effort, right? Yeah, the crooked shit Lederman, I guess, behind supporters was supporters of Lederman were behind the efforts to get Republicans and independents to switch their party affiliation and register as a Democrat. Why would they do that? You would be an idiot to do so, but we know for well if you do, we know that you are either uneducated to the situation, you figure you have something there, and so on. The Republican Party has something there, but it's being lost many times over. You know what I'm saying? Trump is the only one trying to keep it where it's at. And we know the game in the political arena is a fiasco show at times. But data from the New York Board of Elections, you know what I'm saying, appears to back up the information from the Westchester Democrats in the 16th district. There are now 270,000 registered Democrats in the 16th district that was convinced to be a Democrat by these Luciferian suckers. You know what I'm saying? In itself, in the Democrats in the 16th congressional district in New York, 4 months ago in November 2023, there were 268 registered Democrats. 3,000 more voters in the New York 16 have switched, have registered, I'm sorry, as Democrats, giving them the right to vote in the Democratic primary between Republican Bowman and Lattimore, you know what I'm saying? And our sources tell us that about 1,300 of those 3,000 new Democrats are former Republicans. So they have abandoned, and this is the game they play. This is how the demon Democrats stay in power. You know what I'm saying? By convincing all types of people and old motherfuckers who know the deal and know the drill. It's not about the party, it's about the people. Too much focus is being spent on the political arena based on the political garbage that we have seen. You know what I'm saying? You cannot tell me that, they didn't have anything to do with Zelensky and the crooked ass wannabe motherfucking garbage piece of shit NATO alliance nation aligned to overthrow the world is not a part of it. You know what I'm saying? You cannot tell me that. It's the same thing we see in the Gaza Strip and in Africa, Ethiopia. See, Ethiopia and Sudan, Congo, and all that regional area of Egypt that we call Egypt that is now spread apart by different factions and so forth. But what we see there is the same bullshit that we see going on here. It may be more extreme there, but it's definitely the same political garbage and affiliation and twisting of parties. One must come past that now. The people has got to stand up. There is no other way to solve the problems on planet Earth that we have without the power of the people. This is why the founding fathers wrote the Constitution. They wrote the Constitution against idiot government, a government that turned idiotic, as we should say. You know what I'm saying? You act as if like, excuse me, the founding fathers wrote the document just to write it or got the Iroquois nation to draft it and they adopted it and all this different stuff just in order to have a document to seem official. This document was created, even though it had this racist vibe within it, you know what I'm saying? That document was written against the fact of tyranny that would infiltrate our government, you know what I'm saying, and destroy our government from within, such as the Democratic Party. And now, because people have been convinced by LBJ and many other fucking civil rights jackass leaders and many civil leaders, you know what I'm saying, whether they religious or not or whoever they are, has convinced black people all over America to vote Demon Democrat and keep these fuckers in power. You know what I'm saying? But you might be voting them in, but you're not doing your job. You expect that a vote can do it all. And then the person that you vote for and elect, who is changing and flip flopping like they're doing now, Here we go with the flip flopping. See the flip flopping, crossing party lines, switching parties, the whole not. You're beginning to see the picture here. But this is what they do, and this is how they stay in power. You see what I'm saying? They're using black people and many other people to convince their people into believing that the Democratic Party has their best interest in hand. Yeah, the only interest that they have in hand is the fucking nuclear war that can destroy your country, and there won't be no primary nor no voting. You know what I'm saying? So we need to start to look at the garbage that when you elect these people to be in charge or to run things for you, you know what I'm saying? What are they doing with your money, your power, and your country's name and your country's government in other people's country, murdering, killing, and enslaving them, such as Netanyahu is doing? Because Netanyahu ain't no more creation of the creepy Joe Biden many years, several hundred, 78 or whatever, 80, whatever years he came into government, till now, that he created back then when he was younger, along with Republicans and many other motherfuckers who sat there and watched this shit go on, even with Anwar Sadat and Gaddafi, you know what I'm saying, being involved in all that mixture, and then having Anwar Sadat even assassinated and killed by his own people, probably, who is idiotic to understanding that they must stand up, because niggas sometimes don't stand up for nothing. So when you put your life on the line, expect that the fact or this thing that go on can turn only on you. How many people is going to come to your rescue, or even come to changing the dynamic of a country that's falling under the hands of the Luciferian Baphometical bullshitical mind frame, secret site, and all these different people that think they are fishing around you and doing this and doing that, and you are paying it no mind other than for the love and the ideology of being convinced and psychologically brainwashed by these 13 fucking clowns or whoever they are, switching affiliation party to the Democratic Party. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, you must stand up for your country as a whole. Because, like I said, and I'll say it again, in a nuclear war, there will be no fucking voting bullshit. So you need to get your mind together as to what you really are fighting for and what you are really voting for and putting into your government, that bringing down executive orders, rules, all this on your head and making you have to do it. What proved that? COVID-19. So get out of my face. You know what I'm saying? All we got is a bunch of crooked motherfuckers in our government. You know what I'm saying? In our government. You know, it's crazy when we look at historians who correctly, correctly, correct, correctly, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Historians who correctly predicted every election winner since 1984. They did not predict a fucking thing. You know why they was able to predict that? Because they had known that they had psychologically whip-minded dumbass black people, because dumbass black people was the ones keeping these people in power for many years, not the Latinos. You know what I'm saying? The only ones that probably did that were Latino and this, and that was those that had been here. Puerto Ricans and the Upper Bronx, and then all that different, everywhere, Bronx, everywhere, that had been here for years. You know what I'm saying? Somehow, in their mind, and black people, especially even going back, like I said, to the Black Caucus dummies, jackass, if you ask me, a sellout of their own race, you know what I'm saying, talking about black, my ass. You know what I'm saying? You're an idiot. And that's all they were to me. You know what I'm saying? You affiliated yourself with these crooks, which the Constitution was written to keep people like the Democratic Party out of our government. You know what I'm saying? When you go back to even Jim Crow, he is also a part of the Democratic bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Was the world accepting the fact of seeing what happened to black people over there with Jim Crow down there in Selma, Alabama, and different places like that, when they're beating and putting tanks and all kinds of shit against innocent people who had no defense, while you had guns, weapons, and military power that you could call in because you called yourself an officer? You know what I'm saying? And all this bullshitical garbage that we see they did to Martin Luther King and many other civil rights people that was down there in the civil rights marches and so forth and so on. You know what I'm saying? Black people should not have to fight for no fucking civil rights, bitch. You know what I'm saying? You brought my people over here, and those that were here, you practically, some conning with you, probably was never enslaved or had seen slavery, but many did. You know what I'm saying? And the atrocity took place on all levels. So why the fuck, when it got to Martin Luther King, would we have to fight for fucking civil rights? You know what I'm saying? So that means the world was going along with the bullshit altogether. So a lot of people was involved in the fact of just watching this take place because it was who? Black people, the original people of planet Earth. The gods of the earth in itself. You know what I'm saying? So you want to say that you predict some bullshit. You ain't predicting a fucking thing. You mean you set it up to fall that way, so the prediction will always seem the same. Reveal who's likely to win in 2024. Yeah, if you're stupid enough to keeping the same people back into office, yeah, you gonna realize who's gonna win for 2024. Oh yeah.